How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews. Back to another review. A little bit of Belgian Golden Ale time in the form of Blacklist Brewing's Or de Belgique. I probably butchered that, but hey, we're gonna get close enough. Yeah, Blacklist. Was lucky enough to have a 4-pack of their beers sent off to me by the brewer. Thank you very much. The owner of the company, actually. This is the last one I'm diving into. He sent me a couple wits, one triple IPA, and this one. And I kind of sat on this for a couple weeks, and I'm just in a mood for a Belgian style beer. And I believe the first beer I had from them, which is how we kind of connected, had Belgian influence to it. So kind of excited to give it a whirl. As far as what it says on this can, it says Or de Belgique, Blacklist Brewing, Duluth, Minnesota. And it says, honoring traditional Belgian processes, our Or de Belgique is the gold of Belgium, made here in Minnesota. Bursting with tropical fruit flavors and rich aromas, a sophisticated and balanced beer is a perfect beverage to accompany a special night out, leading to a touch of sweetness, to acidic, to bitter dishes, and cleansing the palate between bites of rich meats and desserts. And they say it's sweet and malty and a little bit earthy. Not be bad, you know. Flavor-wise, pretty cool. I dig it. Grab a glass, need one of those, and I'm gonna drink beer. But yeah, it's cool. I like their label design. I like their everything about their art design on their labels. It's actually one of the things I kind of dig most about their beers. I mean, their beers are pretty good. Their two wits I had were absolutely fantastic. So yeah. See what this one has. You know, American breweries making Belgian beers is a fantastic thing. Belgian style beers, I should say, before someone jumps down my digital throat. And you know, not a lot of people do them. You see it a little bit more often now, but not a lot of people do them. Seems like these guys do. Some other breweries, Kane does. A bunch of people do, and it's just kind of tickles me pink. But it's also kind of where I got into beer, so I tend to be a little bit more judgy, or a little bit harder on the Belgians. So, gratifying creaminess. Super tight, compact bowl stands, a couple neurotic stragglers, and she's a soft, subtle, hazy, bright yellow. Pretty much spot on to what a Belgian Golden should be. A little bit of soft carbonation going on, done and done. In a perfect world, maybe a little bit more haze to it. That's just a personal preference when it comes to my Belgians, but yeah, let's slide. See if we can get a nose on her. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of sweet maltiness, and that's about it. A little bit of funkiness, maybe, from the yeast, just a little bit. A little bit of funkiness, and then a little bit. It's not a fruit component. It's not a spice component. There's a little bit more depth to that kind of yeast, but I can't really pull it out of there. I can't really think about what it is. Just a subtle funkiness. Maybe it is a subtle, like overly, way over ripened, almost close to rotten kind of fruit funkiness in a good way. I'm not trying to put you off. We're talking about Belgians here, Belgian styles. But yeah, very minimal nose on it. Nothing too crazy. Just a little bit of sweetness, subtle funkiness. Let's dive in, see what she's got. Cheers. It's a Belgian, my friends, or Belgian style. Nice, almost kind of more robust kind of saison yeast to it. 7.5%, so it's a little bit up there in ABV from where a saison would be, but it kind of just gets in that little crevasse for me, at least mentally. It's somewhere between a golden and a saison for me. Big, huge pepperiness in the yeast. There's an apple vibe to it. But it's not like a negative apple thing, like a flaw. It's more like a golden delicious apple kind of vibe to it. There's a little bit more spice to that yeast too. Again, very in the kind of saison-y realm. Come off with a little coriander maybe in there. A little bit of extra spiciness. Nice sweetness to it. It's definitely more sweet than it is bitter. There's enough kind of bits and pieces on the back end, hop-wise, bitter-wise, to where they're not really showing up, but they're keeping that sweetness in check. spot on mouthfeel. The density, and that's where it kind of separates itself from a saison. It has that little extra kind of density, that little extra kind of thick viscousness that usually you get a little bit more in the Belgian Goldens. But yeah, tasty. A dinner beer. You're definitely drinking this while eating food. They mentioned food on here. I don't think they've done that in all their labels, so it speaks to that. But again, it's a Belgian, so those kind of beers speak to that. Yeah, tasty stuff, man. I mean, this is a really well done rendition of a style that not a lot of people do, and they pull it off to where you're like, if I had this, if you blindfolded me, again, I know what the beer is, but if you blindfolded me and said, is this American made or Belgian, I could go either way. And honestly, for me, who am I? But that, I think, is one of the biggest compliments I can give American Brewery, is when I can't discern their beer from what I think would be a Belgian brewed beer. That's my biggest kind of gripe with a lot of Belgians, is that there's a stark difference between, like, American-born Belgians and, Belgian-born Belgians, or I should say European-born Belgians, because, there's great Netherlands breweries that do the style and stuff like that. This is up there for kind of being in that kind of, okay, this could definitely be from somewhere in Europe, and I think that's pretty fucking awesome that breweries are making shit like that. Not too many do, not the ones that do, and not many of those do it well. This one's pretty good. So yeah, let's talk about it. It was one of the better Belgian Goldens that I've had as of late. It's in the conversation. There's ones that do it a little bit more for me. There's a little bit more kind of, I don't want to say impact, because Belgians for me usually is all about roundness, but there's a little bit more kind of like calling card to Belgians to kind of separate themselves from the middle. I wouldn't say this is middle of the road, it's better than that, but a couple have done better for me, let's put it that way. But it's in the conversation. Absolutely tasty. Value availability, don't know, it's sent to me, so maybe someone wants to chime in, let me know out there in the great Minnesota how things go down, and leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you like Belgian beers, if you like Belgian beers traditionally, and you want to see American brewers who do it well. Like I said, there's some that do it well. King comes to mind, Schlafly comes to mind, Block 15 comes to mind. There's a lot of them that do it well, and I would lump this one in there, because the wits that I had were Belgian leaning, this one's Belgian leaning, and they're all pretty damn tasty. So if you're into Belgian beers and you want an American brewery that does it well, what I had from these guys, they know what's up. So there you go, another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you didn't, anywhere in between, words and stuff and things down there. If you want to check me out anywhere else, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tap, Massive Beers, all four of those places. And yeah, another little review in the books. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you're enjoying a beautiful little Belgian Golden right now, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.